Yeah,
So,
and just because we're talking about growling doesn't sound like you do this, but I'll just say it just for anybody who watches this. We never want to punish the growl. Like we never want to yell at them for growling or tell them no for growling because that's their yellow light. That's their way of saying like I'm giving you a warning right now that I'm really uncomfortable at this point. And then the next step could be the snap or the bite. But if we punish the growl by yelling at it or doing anything that they're just sensitive to, so it might not be yelling, it could be like just mildly correcting it. If they're super sensitive, they might think like, okay, I won't growl anymore. But it doesn't mean that they're not feeling that same emotion. If
right.
anything, they might be feeling it more now because now we just added a little bit of stress on top of it. So then they might skip the growl and they might go straight to the snap or the bite next time. And then those are the dogs is like, well, he didn't give me any warning that why did he just do that? He didn't even tell me he was uncomfortable. And sometimes it can be because either one, it went too fast from like 0 to 60. It was like, it just happened really fast. He didn't even have time to growl. Or it could be that, he has learned in some point in his life that growling isn't allowed, but that doesn't mean that he's not still fearful or
Hmm.
anxious about something. So
Right.
just as kind of a aside as far as the growling piece goes. Yeah, the biggest thing with like people, especially people that are really familiar to him, like your best friend and your parents and all that, is building up that trust. So it's kind of like think of it as like a piggy bank of trust. Is like every time you do something that he likes. So it could be a certain way of petting him, or it could be, you call him over to you and you don't touch him if he doesn't want to be touched in that moment. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't like to be touched ever. It just means that in the context of that moment, he's kind of like, no, wasn't looking for petting right now. Like I was just coming over just to see what you wanted or whatever. Every time you do something that he likes, it's like putting money into the bank, right? And
Right.
then every time that something he doesn't like happens to him, it's like taking money out of the bank. And sometimes we do have to take money out of the bank. Sometimes we do have to handle them in ways that they don't enjoy. But
Hmm.
as long as we have a lot more deposits in the bank, it's okay. We can usually get away with that because we've built up that trusting relationship with them. But if it's sort of like if we're in the red in some way, then that's where we get into a really tricky zone where it's kind of like, okay, now he's really losing his trust of us. And we have to be really careful about that moving forward.